22 multiple choice questions covering the appraisal section of your affiliate broker or broker exam. I will be narrating these questions and answers for those viewers who are only listening to audio. An appraisal is undertaken to A. Estimate value, B. Determine value, C. Determine cost, or D. Predict price. A. Estimate value. In conducting appraisal, which factor is considered the most important? A. Past future usage of the property being appraised. B. Location of the property being appraised. C. The annual past year's property tax of the property being appraised. Or D. Current financing rates and credit availability. B. Location of the property being appraised. Economic life is A. The period of time a building will last. B. The period of the mortgage. C. The period of time the improvements will contribute value to the land. Or D. The actual age of the building. C. The period of time the improvements will contribute value to the land. Which of the following types of depreciation and obsolescence is impossible to cure? A. Physical depreciation. B. Economic obsolescence. C. Functional obsolescence. Or D. Social dilapidation. B. Economic obsolescence. Which is the best example of functional obsolescence? A. High traffic noise levels. B. 40-year-old kitchen and heating system. C. Nearby airport. Or D. Leaking roof. B. 40-year-old kitchen and heating system. Which is the best example of physical depreciation? A. Dry rot. B. Plumbing system installed in 1929. C. High interior ceilings. Or D. Automobile repair shop in a residential neighborhood. A. Dry rot. Which of the following represents functional obsolescence? A. Hazardous surroundings. B. High mortgage interest rates. C. Nearby sewage treatment plant. Or D. Old-fashioned kitchens and bathrooms. D. Old-fashioned kitchens and bathrooms. A strip shopping center produces an annual net operating income of $24,000. An investor wants a 13% return. What would he likely pay for the property? A. $312,000. B. $193,500. C. $228,500. Or D. $184,600. D. $184,600. The four elements of value are A. Supply, transferability, utility, and demand. B. Scarcity, supply, demand, and mortgage money. C. Selectivity, transferability, utility, and supply. Or D. Scarcity, transferability, utility, and demand. D. Scarcity, transferability, utility, and demand. Which of the following would be the most useful in the application of the sales comparison approach? A. The original cost to build the structure. B. The market rent of the subject property. C. The sales price of recently sold nearby similar properties. Or D. The accrued depreciation of the subject property. C. The sales price of recently sold nearby similar properties. Which of the following statements is not true? A. The amount of effort most often determines the amount of money appraisers charge their clients. B. The exterior house dimensions are used in square footage calculations. C. An appraisal is a determination of value. D. The actions of buyers are considered more by appraisers than the actions of sellers. C. An appraisal is determination of value. To estimate the market value of a 10-acre tract of land, the appraiser would most likely use the A. Summation approach, B. Income approach, C. Cost approach, or D. Sales comparison approach. D. Sales comparison approach. Which of the following is not an operating expense of an income-producing property? A. Property tax, D. Debt service, C. Management fee, or D. Maintenance and repairs. B. Debt service. In the cost approach, which type of cost gives the cost of an exact duplicate to the subject property? A. Reproduction cost, B. The replacement cost, C. The rehabilitation cost, or D. The reconstruction cost. A. The reproduction cost. To arrive at an estimate of value using the gross rent multiplier approach, the appraiser finds the GRM by which of the following? A. Multiplying the subject house's monthly rent by the Consumer Price Index. B. Dividing the sales price of any house by the prime interest rate. C. Multiplying the rental income of the subject house times 72. Or D. Dividing the sales price of a rental house by its monthly gross rental. D. Dividing the sales price of a rental house by its monthly gross rental. Russell Shaw, appraiser, has been asked to estimate the market value of a church building. The approach he would most likely use is which of the following? A. Direct market comparison approach, B. Cost approach, C. Capitalization approach, or D. Gross rent multiplier approach. B. Cost approach. Very severe termite damage to a house would likely be classified as A. Economic obsolescence, incurable, B. Physical deterioration, curable, or C. Functional obsolescence, curable, or D. Physical deterioration, incurable. D. Physical deterioration, incurable. If a house has a market or economic monthly rent of $500 and the appraiser has chosen a GRM of 130, what would the estimate value of the house be? A. $38,460, B. $56,000, C. $65,000, or D. Cannot be estimated. C. $65,000. A small office building produces a net income monthly to the owner of $1,200. If this represents a return on investment of 11%, what is the building approximately worth? A. $130,900, B. $139,000, C. $10,900, or D. $158,400. A. $130,900. What is market price? A. The worth of a property, B. the sales price of a property, C, the depreciated value of a property, or D, the listed price of a property? B, the sales price of a property. Which of the following is not a requirement for an appraisal report? A, description of the property being appraised. B, the fee to be paid. C, signature of the appraiser. Or D, signed certification. B, the fee to be paid. An appraiser has found a comparable sale to use in an appraisal he's completing, and the comparable sale property has a full finished basement. This comparable sale is otherwise very similar to the subject property. The appraiser should A, make a plus adjustment to the value of the subject property. B, make a plus adjustment to the sales price of the comparable property. C, make no adjustment but note the basement in the final report. Or D, make a minus adjustment to the sales price of the comparable property. D, make a minus adjustment to the sales price of the comparable. That's all the multiple choice questions we have on appraisal section. Be sure and check out our other videos as you continue studying for your licensing exam.